book. Should be best in the New York Times. Please put your hands together for Mr. Evan Carmichael.
Movement makers, how we doing? Happy Thursday. Look at all these smiling faces. I love you guys. Let's give some hands to Zane the man. Hands to Zane the man. We love you, man. The energy is always off the charts with this guy. We love you, Zane. We love you, Zane. We love you, Zane. Anyway, man, I was looking at you guys partying and dancing and chatting, and slowly the faces start popping in, and the pregame show was Zane and Bonnie talking some strategy on content, which I loved. And then Zen just takes over. And on my walk this morning, I was thinking about you guys, and it always brings a smile to my face. You know, just always thinking about you individually. I sent a few of you some DMs this morning. Tariq checked your DMs. And just knowing that, man, we're going to have a good time today. We're going to talk about something important. And when you see things on your calendar that make you smile, it's usually a sign that you're on the right path. You know, you may not be getting the results yet. You may not be where you want to be yet, but if it's giving you energy, like you guys give me energy. I'm not a morning person, but you guys always give me energy that I take to throw into the rest of the day. And so for your own, life, for the own work that you're doing, if it's giving you energy, man, if there's people that give you energy, this work that gives you energy, just lean in on it, even if it doesn't make sense yet, because that vibe will carry through. And anyway, just lots of gratitude for you guys this morning. Makes me super happy to be here. All these amazing smiling faces from around the world. We have a pretty exciting topic that I want to dive in today. So let me share some screen time here and let's bring it in. So we are talking today about how to become a person of influence. And this was a fun topic. Okay, so for anybody new here, first off, welcome. We'll do a couple shout outs in a second, but we always make it based off of what you guys want. So you guys vote the topic, and then that's what I make instead of hearing myself talk all the time. I'd rather make it around the content you guys care about. And Erasmo led the day with this topic, how to become a person of influence. But then Mark posted this comment about what I took away from my mastermind retreat. And for those of you who don't know, I'm part of a group that Brendan Burchard created. We call ourselves the Beach Game Mastermind, where we hang out once a year. And it's most of the top people inside personal development. And a lot of people were then DMing me backstage to say, hey, I know that person of influence is the #1 topic, but can you talk about the mastermind? So I'm going to do a little bit of a combo. We're going to focus mostly on person of influence and a little bit on mastermind. And if you guys want me to dive deep in the future session on that, let me know in terms of how do you get successful people to notice you? How do you become one of the players in your industry, and some of the lessons? I can't share everything, especially other people's stories, because that's pretty private and behind the scenes. It's a what happens in Napa stays in Napa kind of situation, but I can definitely share my experience and how you can get there. So thank you guys for voting it up. Some family shout outs. We got some new members in the house. Christina, Jessica, Stacy, Yin, Markham, Angelo. Welcome aboard. You're part of an amazing family. Great to have you as a part of it. And shout out to Bonnie, who's starting her 100 video challenge. She's making 30 plus videos for her new coaching program. I'd encourage you guys to use the Facebook group, share your wins, share where you're struggling. You don't have to be on this journey alone. There's tons of amazing people here who want to cheer you on and support you as well. So use the Facebook group. It's not just about these sessions every 2 weeks, but we got our group together as well. And some shout outs for the people doing the 100 video challenge. For anybody new here, we started a challenge of, hey, before you tell yourself that you suck on camera and that you're not going to make it, go make 100 videos. And we have a thread on our Facebook page. If you want to join, it's free, no extra charge, anything else. Just let Yelena know. So Christy's on to number 20. Erasmo's on to number 67, my man. Jessica just posted her first and second. We love it. Congratulations. And the idea is YouTube videos or Instagram videos, 100. Before you tell yourself that you suck, post 100, and you can share your progress with us along the way. Loving all the chat. Thanks, Evan. You made my day. Thankful Thursdays. Good morning. Yeah, mastermind. We love it. Nina in the house sharing some, was that a firework? I don't know what you put in the chat there, Nina, but I like it. Okay, one other quick announcement before getting into it. This is something I'm playing with, and I want your feedback on. It could be offline. Doesn't have to be right now. But my idea is to do 1K days. So people have been asking me, when are you doing Thought Leadership Academy? When are you going to do Thought Leadership Academy? When are you going to? That was my 3-day event where I trained thought leaders, and we in Toronto. And we just all day for 3 days. It was pretty intense. And I haven't had as much of a calling to do it because, quite frankly, Movement Makers has been so amazing that I get to hang out with you guys every 2 weeks. I don't feel the need anymore to have it, here in Toronto. But I thought it could be fun to do 1K days once we get through COVID and all that stuff. But for 1K, so it's $1,000 to spend a day on a Movement Makers Day. And what we would do is take 5 to 10 people. So you have to be inside Movement Makers. So 5 or 10 of you, 5 to 10, 5 minimum. If we don't get 5, I'm not doing it. And if we get over 10, then there's a cap. But we have 5 to 10 people. We come to Toronto. We do Movement Makers. You get to watch me do it. We'll probably do it at TDS. And then in the background, you guys will be there. When we do the breakout rooms, you get to do the breakout with people, like whoever's here in Toronto, you get to actually jam together on the breakout topics. Then it's going to be lunch with my team. And then the afternoon is going to be masterminding. One of the biggest things I found from the Napa event was just mastermind, just going around the table, sharing what we're working on and getting tons of connections and ideas. So the whole afternoon is masterminding. And then the evening is dinner with me and the team. And we just go out and have a good time on a Movement Makers Day. So that's my idea. 1K days. Let me know. You think it's the greatest thing in the world? You think it's the most stupidest thing ever? Feedback, suggestions. We obviously need to get through, COVID and figure all that stuff out. But let me know. Let me know what you think. Evan Tinsman says I'm in. I knew Evan would be in. KYB Plan says I'm in. Saving will begin now. Just a shame I'm not there. Yeah. So we'll see. Keep the feedback coming. DM me on Instagram if you want. Let Yelena know your thoughts, suggestions, improvements. But to have one just pretty impactful day. It's amazing how much connection we've formed just being here, remotely, seeing faces and collaborations that have happened. I mean, I even just started a business with Drew that's a mixed 6-figure business, and I've never even met the guy in person yet. But there's a vibe, right? And so I think we could just accomplish so much more if we're actually connected together. Anyway, my quick idea. Let me know what you guys think. Okay. So for anybody new, I always share my 3 big ideas on the topic. We do breakout sessions. You're going to meet some amazing humans. And then we come back and do some Q&A at the end. This is being recorded, so you have access to it whenever you want. And our slides will be put in the private group afterwards. So you don't have to stress out about taking screenshots or anything along the way. Lady says, cool idea. I'm sort of in for now. All right. So let's start off. Individual level. One of the things that I want to make sure you guys are feeling is that you're already doing the work. Like you're already a person of influence. As much as we want to grow, we want to impact the world, we want to do more, we want to, yes, I do too, right? Like it never feels like enough. We always want to be reaching bigger audiences. Absolutely. But like you're already doing it. And I think this is the thing that can help keep you motivated, help keep you going. One of the things that really helped keep me going through all the videos, like how many videos have I done? 10,000 something videos. Why? Well, because it's always focused on who I am serving. That even when at the very beginning, 40 people might see my video, or not even, 4 people might see my videos. Like those are 4 people that I'm already having some kind of influence, even though it's not where I want it to go yet. And so sometimes we need to push. Sometimes we need to tell ourselves like, hey, you're not doing enough. You're not playing a big enough game. You have to step into that discomfort. You have to summon the courage to go and do more. And sometimes we need to look back and recognize, hey, like I've actually done a lot. I've already had some kind of impact. I liken it to we're swimming and you want to swim forever. You're swimming. There is no island. Like you don't want to get to the island. You want to play your game and swim forever. And most days we just want to keep swimming, but there's some days we have to look back and see how far you came. It's like, well, that's where I started. Wow. Because it sometimes doesn't, if you've been swimming every day, you don't realize how far you've come. If you go back and look at your first video, you don't realize how far you've come. I look back at my first videos and cringe like, oh my gosh, it's so bad. It's so bad. But I keep it there to help show the journey. So we're going to talk a lot about growth and how to get to the next step, which is amazing. I love it. We should. But sometimes you just need to remember that, hey, you already are. The fact that you're here, that you're betting on yourself, that you've already grown, you've already learned, you've already started sharing, you already are a person of influence. Now just let's amp it up. So for the people around you, it's just like, how do we have influence on the individual? So think about your friends and family. One of the biggest things that people often will come to me with is like, hey, I've grown so much. How do I help my friends? How do I help my family? And we've made entire sessions on coaching. We did a 2-part series on how to coach that I'd recommend you go back and check out because it was pretty valuable. But if you think about how many of your friends and family are toxic or are negative or aren't supporting you and how that made you feel, just flip it to know that, hey, your positivity is just as infectious. When somebody is negative around you and telling you that you can't do it and it's not going to work out, we want to escape that environment because you want to be around people like movement makers who bring you up, who lift you up, who make you feel like things are possible. But your positivity can be just as infectious as their negativity. And so it doesn't even mean you need to go and coach your mom, or coach your brother or coach your friend. Just you showing up every day, continue to swim, continue to make progress is inspiring to other people. And what will happen is, how do you change your friends? How do you change your family? Well, it's not about telling them that they suck and here's what they need to do to change their life, even though it's coming from a loving place. It comes from you living your life and you actually being happy so that they will then come to you and say, hey, what are you doing? Like, how did this, you look so much happier, you have so much progress, you're getting so much growth. What happened? And you're waiting for that moment to then open up a conversation to have a real talk. Right. So just by you living your life and chasing on your dreams and pushing into your discomfort zone and having the impact that you want to have will be an inspiration to the people around you, even though it may not feel like it, because you're waiting for that moment for them to come and ask for help and ask for advice. But it will come if you keep doing it. So friends and family is the first level. Then the followers, like all of you guys have some followers. It's not where we want it to be, but same thing for me. It's never what I want. I'm at 3 million on YouTube. I want to be at 10. I want to solve the world's biggest problem. Like, it's never going to happen, but every day I wake up trying to make it happen. So yes, we're looking for the growth, but you already have some followers and you already are impacting them. And the way to go and get to the next level is by focusing on the people who you do have. So we always focus on who we don't have and who we're not serving and how we're not big enough. We'll focus on who you do have, and they'll help take you to who you don't have yet. Like, if you really focus on the people who are already consuming some of your content and you just give them so much love, they're going to go and take you to the people who don't know you yet. They're going to tell their friends, hey, go follow Tariq, go follow Zachariah, go follow Bonnie, go follow Zan. Did you see Zan's live stream last night? Go check him out. He's talking about love languages. You should see what that's all about, right? Like, if you just love on the people who are already in your community, you're going to get a lot more results because they'll take you to where you want to go. And it just feels good. Like, it doesn't have to be a strategy. I was walking through the park this morning. I sent a bunch of DMs and I see Tariq, on my screen. So every time I see Tariq, I see him dancing and vibing and loving and supporting other people and just cheering other people on, even though he's got his own battles and his own issues and his own troubles in life. Tariq's life is not perfect. There's a lot of crap that's happened in his life, but he still chooses to show up with positivity and still give off that radiant love. And so I was just thinking about him while I'm walking with my wife in the park, and I sent a 15-second story, or it doesn't have to be some giant thing. Just sent a quick little message, and hopefully that means something to Tariq. At least I was feeling it. He's saying yes, but like, those little things really, really, really make a difference. And when you can recognize people and see people, when they feel like for the first time am being seen by somebody, you automatically become a lot more influential in their life. It doesn't mean that you have to have some nefarious goal to then push them down some path, or the intent doesn't have to be go buy my next thing. It's just recognizing them and giving them love. Tariq says, meant the world. All right. Appreciate you, man. So Erasmo is the one who suggested this topic, and he's been doing speaking. And I remember the first time I met Erasmo, he drove to Dallas with his daughter from, I believe, Houston, to come and see me at a meetup. And he said he wanted to be a speaker. And I made him speak on the spot. We had, 20 people, 30 people kind of in a hotel lobby before I had to fly out. I said, you want to be a speaker? Great. Come on up, speak. And he was super nervous and super scared, but then he did it. He gave a speech, and it was good. And it's been amazing to see the progress. And so Erasmo went live, this was yesterday. And on this post, he had 37 views here and 10 comments, you know, and is that where he wanted to be? No. Like, does he want that to be 3,000 views, 30,000 views, 3 million views? Yeah. But look at the comments, right? Kirby promo, love this live, fire. Galit, I've been knowing changes for a few months, big changes, big improvements, fire, right? Aman, just giving tons of love, and I don't know what that thing is, but it's all love, right? It's like you're already, so Erasmo asked this question about how to be a person of influence. Well, you already are, right? You already are for these people. Go love on these people even more. And again, they'll keep taking you to the next spot. So I just don't want you to lose sight of the impact that you're currently having. I'm all for growth. I'm all for ambition. I want to solve the world's biggest problem. But what happens to a lot of people is once they hit a certain level, they stop caring, or they stop responding, or they stop sending DMs, or they stop replying to people. And it does become impossible at some point, but it doesn't mean that you stop. Like it doesn't mean that you just don't send anything out, right? So you're already having an influence, man. Like these 10 people, you already had an influence. And then the other 27 who didn't leave a comment, chances are you made a life-changing impact on them as well, right? We assume that our stuff doesn't matter. How about you assume that for at least one person, it actually does matter? And the last one is yourself. So friends, family, your followers, and then yourself. And anytime you set a new standard for yourself, it has this ripple effect out. Like anytime you do something difficult that you didn't think you could do, even if you don't share it, but you've just grown and become better and become stronger, people notice it. People pick up on it. That has its waves out that you'll never even realize. Like if me sending Tariq that DM this morning, he appreciates it. Maybe he then goes and sends 4 DMs to people I've never met, you know, or maybe he gives some extra love today to somebody. Not that he doesn't give tons of love, he already does, but maybe just like an extra little level today, or he shows up one more hour for somebody today in his life that I'm never going to meet. Like that all has this ripple effect out, all because I decided to do this one little act of kindness in the morning, right? So anytime you do something, you set a new standard, you're growing, you're learning, you're pushing against a comfort zone. Anytime you do that, it's not only impacting you, it's impacting all the people who've ever seen you and have any kind of interaction with you. And so on an individual level, it's our friends, it's our family, it's our followers, and ourselves. And so you get there by realizing you're already there. You're just doing more of it. All I'm doing now is more of what I was doing when I started. You know, YouTube 2009, my first video, I'm still the same guy with the same intent, with the same drive, with the same purpose, with the same just desire to do good. I've gotten better, you know, I hope over 12 years of making content. You know, we have this amazing group here together, awesome humans, but I'm still the same guy. And so you're already having an impact. And I don't want you to take that away from yourself. So I combine it as gratitude and growth, you know, gratitude for what you've done, gratitude for the impact you're already having, gratitude for the people's lives that you have touched. Everybody here has touched somebody in some way. You've had a coffee with somebody, you've had a conversation with somebody, a friend, a high school buddy, somebody. You've already had some conversations. Even the impact you've had on other people in this group, you've already had an impact. And gratitude for that. And now let's focus on growth. Let's focus on doing more. Let's focus on giving more, serving more, being more courageous. Let's focus on more. But it's both. Like when you only focus on growth and lose sight of the gratitude, it's a recipe for unhappiness, because there's unlimited comparison. You know, there's unlimited like who you could be like, but you're not there yet. Mark says there's 48 people in here that you choose to support today and this week. I love it, Mark. Evan says I give free coaching call to grow with anxiety for 8 months. Now I'm in the process of acquiring a multi-million-dollar deal that came from a free coaching call with no expectations. You never know what's going to lead. I love it. Tariq says, love it, Mark. Michael, my second video quadrupled my first one. Impact happens the more you do. I love it. This is a start. And this is what I'm talking about, like the ripple effect by you being here, supporting each other. I didn't know about a lot of this stuff, but it's happening because you're showing up, because you're betting on yourself, and you're here supporting each other as well. Okay. So that's on an individual level. Now let's talk about global level. Let's talk about reaching more people. Let's talk about how to spread our message far and wide. Okay. I want to break this down to a couple of things. One, reconnect to your why. a lot of times we get on this roller coaster of sharing and then not sharing and creating and not creating, and even people with the best of intentions and the best of heart and the best of love just stop being consistent. um, Evan Tinsman just talking about his deal that he got for $2 million after giving a free coaching call. I remember there was a moment where he wasn't consistent on his Instagram, and I messaged him, hey man, I want to see content, let's go, you got a message, you got a heart, you got a big purpose. Remember when I met him at the first event, we had a round table and he used all of his time basically to help other people instead of to ask questions for himself. But he wasn't consistent on making the content, right? And we all fall into these ruts. And so the thing that can help you through is just remember your why, remember who you used to be, remember where you came from, remember how you struggled and how you started. And so this is one of the pictures that I use to remind myself, of who I am and what I came from. This is young Evan starting his business. How old those monitors are. I'm working off of 3 computers here. It looks like I got some beer, I got some pizza, I got New York City in the background because that's what I thought making it was, getting to New York City. I've got, I think there's like a stack of CDs here that I'm trying to burn my software. Like I was making every CD had our software. I was burning it on my own computer. This is the guy who needs a lot of help. The guy who's full of dreams, full of ambitions, trying to make it, sitting in his basement apartment, trying to figure out where to go, but also full of, doubt and insecurity and not sure if it's going to work out. And it's like, man, I just burned all these CDs and nobody's buying them, and just the ups and downs of some days feeling on top of the world and absolute clarity. And then other days just feeling, why am I doing this? It's like nothing is working out, right? Damn, this photo is powerful. I need to document more. Yeah, I mean, I wish I had a film crew and could document more, and YouTube existed when I started my first business as well. But that's who you're creating for, guys. That's who you're making for. Like when you can actually tap into that person. And we've talked about this before. Imagine you're going to sit down with the person you were 5 or 10 years ago on a park bench, and what's the advice you're going to give them? If you can actually connect to it, like when I make a video and it's not just talking to a camera, but I can actually connect to this guy, like, look at this, Evan, dude, and then give him advice, it just changes. Even if the words are exactly the same, it changes the level of emotions. It changes the heart. And what that does is the more energetic and the more true your words are, the more it's going to connect with people. A lot of you have great messages, but because you're too in your head and not enough in your heart, the messages don't land. And this was a huge struggle for me, where I struggled to make content and I had to memorize everything because I was too worried about it being perfect. But really, when I let go of the script and just started talking more from the heart, I started seeing better results. And that was years of work to try to do, years. And hopefully, with you guys, we can make that happen a lot faster with the beer and pizza. Who took the picture? I don't know, actually. I think it was my sister, but I'm not actually 100% sure who took that picture, Victor. I'm just glad that somebody did, because those are most of my days, just sitting there in my basement apartment, see all the dust on this lamp, it's just wake up, work, go back to sleep, wake up, work, go back to sleep. And, some days it really took its toll. And so that's who I'm still making videos for, this Evan. I had New York City on the wall. And also I remember this was an article of a young, successful Canadian entrepreneur who, he wasn't that far ahead of me in age. I'm like, man, if he could do it, he just built like a $100 million plus business. Like, man, it's possible. It's possible. And now there's only more stories, and it doesn't have to be a magazine article. We're probably getting our content other places, but just to be around it, even though I'm living in the basement apartment and I've got, this crappy desk and everything else, is like, this is where I'm trying to create. I like that shirt. Cool. Yeah. I used to before the hoodie days, I also used to have to feel like I had to be professional. So I wore a lot more collared shirts, and whenever I met somebody, I always wore a suit because I felt like that's what a professional person does. And then slowly as you gain more confidence, you realize, oh, that doesn't actually matter that much. Anyway, so the more you can reconnect to this, like this brings me a lot of emotions when I look back on it, because I remember all the pain and the struggle. For you, it might be fun to look at, Evan with hair, or Evan with beer or whatever, Evan in the weird shirt. But if you can reconnect your why, it'll just make your content a lot more powerful. Okay, next is sharing your story. So people will connect with you because they feel like you're like them. And what we often share is too perfect. You know, if someone were to look at me and my YouTube growth and the success and the mastermind and the beach gang and, you know, the people I hang out with, and it's makes it seem like, well, so, you know, it's easy for you. I'm not like that. You're so natural on the camera, all of this stuff, right? Like, well, no, like go back and look at my early days. And I love sharing these kinds of things. This graphic is on my homepage. Every month I'll share this on Instagram too, and my social, of how my YouTube growth has come along. You know, in my first, I started in 2009. By 2012, I still didn't even have a 1,000 subscribers. Guys, look at that growth. It was terrible at the beginning, right? And that's, I sucked and I need to get better. And I'm trying to give you the tools to get there faster, since it doesn't have to be your path. But showing people that you're like them, whatever this equivalent is, showing people that you're like them, I'm obsessed with trying to pull back the curtain. And some of my favorite podcasts when I'm on are the people who ask me the questions about where I'm still insecure and where I still don't have it all figured out. And a lot of people will look to you and say, you've got it all figured out. You know, you've got it all figured out, man. Look at you. And you're thinking, what? You think I haven't figured out? I'm just getting started. What? But you do, compared to where you were. You know, you're a lot further ahead. But unless you can show me that you know who I am, this is where a lot of people will make the mistake of getting into thought leadership, is you're just sharing your advice, and the advice is on point and the advice is legit. But until I know that you actually struggled through the thing that I struggled with, I'm not going to listen to you, you know? So, I see Alex here in the house. He's going through his battle with ADHD and trying to make that work. And does he take the medication? Does he not take the medication? Does he, all of the ups and downs of trying to struggle with that? And, I could make a video on ADHD, and I think we have, but I don't have ADHD. So my story isn't as valuable or relevant, but Alex does. But if Alex just came on and said, here's how you help ADHD, nobody's going to listen to him until they know that he's struggling with it too. Right? That he tried this pill and then that pill, but then this one kept him up all night, and he's got to do it earlier in the morning, and how much he felt, like he was giving up or giving in and not strong enough because he had to go take the pill. All of that, all of those mental struggles that you go through, the self-doubt, the insecurities, the story, that's what people will connect with. And then they see where you're at now, and then they're willing to listen. Where when we default to just giving the advice, people don't follow it because they don't think that you're like them or you don't understand. Evan was just diagnosed with ADHD combined presentation and had to start medicating this month. You share it, right? Then other people who have it will feel less alone, because this guy felt alone. 19-year-old Evan felt alone. And you, when you were struggling with it, felt alone. Whatever you struggled with, that was the biggest problem. You felt alone. So by sharing your story, it helps other people feel like, I'm not the only one struggling with this. It's okay. And this takes courage to share your story, but it's what will connect people to you. Next is share what you're afraid to share. The best stuff to share is the thing that you're afraid to share. You're afraid of judgment. You're afraid of people looking at you. You're afraid of people running away. We put on this armor and we share some things, but we don't share the actual things. We don't share the deep stuff. And that's the thing that will connect people to you the most. So if you look at my website, I've tried to think of all of the different things that I could share that I maybe was in the past embarrassed by or ashamed of or didn't want people to know. The only thing that I have as a caveat is I try not to throw anybody under the bus. Like this is my story, but I'm not trying to say that my parents did a bad job here or my business partner screwed me over here. Like not throwing anybody under the bus, but still being authentic to your story. So at the very top of my page, my homepage, it'll say at 8, I went to see a child psychologist. That's a true story. My parents were worried about me, worried about behavioral issues, worried that I used to sit under a desk at my school, when the teachers were trying to teach me and I didn't want to listen and just sat under my desk. I was pretty weird and ostracized as a kid. And so just trying to share some of those stories so that as much as you see the life now, it's like, well, that's not where it started. And that gives people hope and inspiration. So what are the things that you're deeply afraid to share? And that becomes a thing that you have to share. That's how you start to get people to really connect with you, to follow you, to be influenced. We're talking about how to be a person of influence. This is it. What are you the most afraid of? And then you share it. And your courage will give other people the courage to feel less alone and also feel like you're somebody who can give them guidance. You got to take the armor off. Makes a huge, huge difference. Results BI says from 2017 to 2018, you double subscribers. What did you do differently that year? Do you recall anything? Going back to this from 2017 to 2018? I don't know. I mean, I doubled in this year too. I more than doubled in this year. I more than doubled in this year. I mean, listen, in the first year I doubled, more than doubled too. I doubled every year except in the, here. It's more like, why did I suck in 2019 and 2021? Right? I mean, just kept doubling. Just the numbers don't feel as big. But what did I do? A lot of this stuff. Like this stuff took me a long time to start to realize, because I used to feel like nobody wants to hear my story. It's not good enough. I'm worried about how people will judge me. All of this stuff that I'm sharing here in this presentation is going to help you get there faster than this. If you just keep going, all of you, I've seen your content. I've seen how you show up. I see the love, the care, the desire to serve. If you just keep going, you'll win. But it'll look like this. It'll just be mega slow. What I'm trying to give you is the shortcut. Like, how can you get there faster? Like, what would I tell Evan at the start of his journey? Okay, well, like, share what you're afraid to share. If I made more videos talking about me having to go see a child psychologist and me being an introvert and me being afraid to get on stage and all the stuff that I thought made me weak and not professional and all this stuff, that's actually the unlock, then I would have gotten there a lot faster. Next, create. I did a check yesterday on my channel. So I've made 11,000 videos on my channel. 11,044 as of yesterday, just on the main channel, let alone the top 10 channel and espresso channel and Spanish channel and like all the other channels that we've got. I don't know what the combined total is. I always seem to underestimate. I think, yeah, I've made at least 10,000 videos. It's like, no, I made 11,000 just on one channel. Right. And so it's why I created the 100 video challenge for you guys, is make 100 videos. Like, just keep going, because you'll start to see that you get better. You'll start to see that you're improving. You'll start to see that you're having more results and more success, and your ability to be able to share a message is just coming out way stronger than it used to be. And then again, going back and look at episode 1 and see how much you suck compared to where you're at now is good. Like, that growth is good, because when we don't see the number growth as much as we want, again, you look back to see how far you've swum. So create. Don't stop creating. Like, that momentum train really, really, really matters. And when you stop, and there's so many reasons to stop, there's so many reasons to stop. But when you can share, even if you feel not good enough, or you feel tired, or you feel judged, that's your next video. It's like, hey, I feel judged. I feel not good enough. I feel like I'm an imposter. I feel like nobody cares about this stuff. I feel tired today. Great. That's your video. And then post. And you'd be surprised at how often those are actually the best videos on your channel. The one where you finally let off the armor, finally say what's on your mind, finally just be a human and let us into your world. And that's when things start to go well, right? That's how you start to shortcut it. Emotional commitment. So one of the biggest things that I think is missing from most thought leaders, and what I work on, if I think about my Thought Leadership Academy, one of the things we worked on the most was just emotional commitment. And people would train with me, and I remember they train with Alex, like, you'd have them go do stories and they'd say, no, do it again, do it again, do it again, do it again, more commitment, more emotional. It's like the biggest thing that's usually missing. It's just you can't summon the energy as much. And so you're so worried about saying the perfect words, and you get the words out, but if you don't care, then the people won't care. And I know you care, but it doesn't sound like you care because the energy isn't there. You have to have emotional commitment. You have to feel like this video right now, this thing you're about to make, or this post, that you're about to create will change somebody's life. We'll set them on a new course. This one right here. And when you come with that intention, it will happen for somebody. When you show up like that, when you're just by yourself in your office, press and record on a camera, and you're so worried about how your one eyebrow hair is out of place. Like when you come with that intention instead that I need to make something today that's going to impact somebody's life for the better, you're just going to show up differently. Your words may be the same. Your words likely won't be as perfect as they are on your script. My videos are never exactly what I thought I was going to say, and especially now. But when you can lean in on that, you'll just have much more results. One of the things that I like to teach people when I'm hanging around them is whenever you feel emotional, film. Whenever you feel emotional, film. Whenever you feel heightened emotion, you film. Don't worry about if it's the perfect setting or the perfect camera. You know, so if I send a DM to Tariq and he's feeling gratitude, perfect, film. Take out your phone and say film. You know what? I just got this DM from Evan and it meant the world to me. And I realized how much gratitude, and then whatever flow, let it out. The words won't be perfect, but it's the energy that's going to carry the day so much more than the words that you say, right? What was Maya Angelou's quote? People don't remember what you say, but they remember how you made them feel. Did I get it close enough? That's it. It's like you need to make people feel something. And the only way they're going to feel it is if you feel it first. One of my favorite moments with Alex, because I was pushing Alex for years on this stuff, like, Alex, film. Your content is so boring. You get in front of the camera and it just sucks. But then when you're talking to people, it's so great. You know, like if somebody's talking to Alex, I remember there was one time Mark Drager came in and met Alex. It was the first time they met. And Mark's a dear friend for like, you know, decade plus, and they didn't get along in their first meeting. And like, Mark, that's your fault. Like if you don't get along with Alex, there's something wrong with you or how you showed up that day. It's not anything wrong with Alex, because people love Alex when they meet him. But then he was getting on camera and it was boring and stiff. And it's like he did 200 takes and it felt like every take was getting worse because he's trying to memorize what he was going to say. And then he went to Montreal and he made this video about a glove in the water or something. Like he saw some glove, it was raining, and he saw a glove in the water. And I don't remember what the whole message was, but he just decided to pull out his phone and film. And it was dark and the lighting was sucked, and the audio wasn't great. But Alex really, really cared about this glove in the water that was on the gutter about to go into the sewer. and he turned it into something great, right? He's like, man, do more of that. And you see his fingers are freezing. It's cold. He's like, you know, his lips are shivering. It's like, that's the best. That's one of my favorite Alex videos of all time, more than all of the other stuff that he's done and that I've pushed him on and trained him on and said, do it again and do it again and do it. Like that video in Montreal that he just decided to make because he got inspired by a glove on the side of a street. It's the emotional commitment because it actually meant something. So the more, like, how do you summon the emotional commitment? Well, you do it by whenever you actually feel it, you film. So the next time you feel heightened emotion, positive or negative, you know, if you feel this video here, why I have it up here, like, old, you know, super old Evan, this is from 2013. This is my first emotional video. And I've talked about this before. I went to look at the comments on it and there's some of you guys on there because I've talked about this video before. Like, wait, Terry Wade Thompson saw this video? What? Like, oh, he must have gone back and looked at it. It's from 2013. This was the first video I filmed that I had emotional commitment. You know, I just finished a mastermind meeting. I felt like I was fighting with everybody and I decided to go home. It's late at night. It's like 11:30. I'm tired. And I said, before going to bed, emotional commitment, I'm going to film. And I sat down on the floor and I took out my laptop, pressed record. And this was a video that popped out. And it's 3.5 minutes of me being frustrated. The audio is okay. The lighting sucks because it's super late at night. And this was, I started in 2009, guys, April 2009. This was September 2013. This is like years in, and I finally got my first video that had any kind of emotional commitment. That's how much crap I was kind of buried underneath, right? So I want to try to get you guys through that a lot faster. So how do you do it? When the next time you feel any heightened emotion, gratitude, happiness, but also anger or disappointment, film. Even if you don't post it. even if you look back and it's like, oh, you know what, I called somebody else out that I don't want to post that. Great. Even if you don't post it, just to see how you are when you are emotional is worth the practice. Because then when you actually go next week to make that video, you can watch it back and see how you look like, because we've all had moments, myself included, where you get all emotional, like this is going to make a great video. And then you come back tomorrow to film it and it's like, yeah. And you just try to remember and you're all in your head and the heart's gone and then it doesn't land. Make it in the moment. Love you, Alex, says Rosie. All right, good. Alex getting lots of love. It's good. And then just last one on here is just remember that people need you. I had a great IG live yesterday with a woman who joined. I didn't know who she was. She just raised her hand. I brought her in and we had a coaching session for 25 minutes. She's a Canadian military veteran. And she was just stuck in her head to make content, you know, and she has PTSD from her time in the service and trying to figure out her way through it, and is overthinking all of her content and over planning, over strategizing, like, hey, welcome to the world. Like everybody, you know, who else has over planned and over strategized and over thought and haven't, you know, made enough content? Everybody, right? If you don't have your hand up, you know, you're lying, right? It's everybody. And so just remember that the people need you, right? People need you. People need you. People need you. Like they're even if they don't know who you are yet, they need you. They need your message. It's important, you know. I mean, what she's doing is PTSD stuff. Some of that could be life changing. Like that could literally save somebody's life. And you're not making content because, right? Some incredible reason. No, it's like because you're worried about the perfect lighting, right? You're worried about the perfect phone. That's why you're not off changing lives. We just don't connect enough to it. And that's why we get stuck in our own head. When you can connect, like somebody needs this message today and you actually feel that, all of a sudden the excuses go away. Like when somebody else needs you to show up. And this is great when a lot of times we don't show up for ourselves, but you show up for other people. And so we can actually feel that. It's like, no, I need to make this video because Zane the man's counting on me, or Tarika's counting on me, or Bonnie's counting on me. When you actually feel that, like somebody's actually counting on you to do this, you'll show up with a lot more courage and a lot of the excuses kind of vanish. So I spent a lot of time on this chunk because I think it's really, really important. You know, section 1 was on the individual level. You're already a person of influence. You're already having an impact. But now how do we expand that reach? Well, you have to reconnect to your why, share your story, share what you're afraid to share, create emotional commitment, and people need you. And you're not making content because, excellent, says Burke. Burke, I sent you a DM this morning too. Check your IG DMs. Okay, quickly, I want to touch on the Beach Gang Mastermind. And again, we could turn this into a whole session if you want of lessons learned and what we do there and how I got in and all that stuff. But this was a group put together by Brendan Burchard, if you don't know him. And he basically thought, hey, why don't I pull together some of the best people, the top people in thought leadership, and we just get together once a year and mastermind, and you know, no agenda, really just sit around the table and help each other out. And so I just came back last month. Yes, last month from everybody, and Nina joined, which is amazing. So and people you recognize, right? Like Tom Bilyeu and Lewis Howes and Jay Shetty, and there's Nina and Marie Forleo and Mel Robbins and all those people. And you go hot air ballooning and all sorts of stuff. But really the key point was to be able to connect with people who are in the industry. And just in terms of the topic of influence, how do you become a person of influence? Your goal might be to have 1 million followers and reach the world, right? Or your goal might be just, how do I influence influential people and be maybe the person behind the scenes a little bit? So how do you become somebody's chief goal officer? And I was super, I had a lot of anxiety, especially the first time doing this, because I thought, well, I'm the believe guy. So how am I going to make Brendan Burchard believe in himself more? You know, how am I going to make Mel Robbins believe in herself more? It's like, I don't feel good enough. I don't feel like I belong here. Why am I here again? And the thing that I usually contribute the most, apart from support and love and belief, is the YouTube side of things. Everybody here is not struggling on YouTube. Some of them are, but they need help. They need guidance, and I can help them with that. And so I got invited here because of an interview I did with Dean Graziosi that then got me to speaking at his event in Phoenix. That then got me to meet Brendan, who then asked me how I was doing my book, who then invited me down to the first one, that then led to the second one. And so thinking, okay, if I want to be influential to somebody who has influence, you have to be their chief goal officer. Like, what do they care about that I can help them with? And maybe you can actually help them with it yourself, or maybe you know somebody who can help them with it. And the easiest way to find that out is just look at what they're posting. Look at what's in their bio. Look at what they're posting on social. People will often share what they're struggling with, where they need help. And a lot of times we see ourselves as, oh, I can't help them because I don't know how to do that thing. But you could find the person who knows how to do that thing. And you could be the connector. All of a sudden you get known as the person who made that connection happen. Right? So for anybody who you want to get in touch with or be influential with, do some research, see what they're posting right now, what they care about. As a quick example, super quick, like Lisa posted on her story, Lisa Bilyeu, we just came back from our trip, right? It's like, amazing, hi, private jets, all this stuff, great, yay, awesome, great time. She finds out that her dog, while she was away, had her dog had some kind of issue and had to be rushed to the vet and might not make it. And her dogs, like, she doesn't have kids, her dogs are her kids. She's had this dog for like 15 years or something crazy. And she posted to her story, and I didn't even see it. Nina saw it. And another reason why we love Nina. She's always caring for people, keeping on top of people, you know. We love Nina. Nina saw it and told me, oh my gosh, look at what, you know, Lisa and Tom are going through with their dog. And I just posted to our group to say, hey, sending lots of love to Lisa and Tom dealing with their dog right now. They just rushed to the hospital, because maybe the people in our group, you know, all big names, we're not always on each other's stories 24/7. I posted that. And then Maria here actually went through the whole thing with her dog and suggested having somebody come over and give the dog fluids. And she gave a contact to Tom and Lisa to go give the dogs the fluids that they needed. And they come to your house, and, you know, they're all in LA. And that ended up saving the dog. And it's like, what a life-changing moment for Tom and Lisa. I don't have any connections to dogs, and I don't live in LA. It all came just because Nina saw this story on Lisa's timeline that then I shared in the group, not even just trying to give love, right? Like, I'm just trying to give positivity. I don't even know if anybody knows anybody. And Maria happened to see it, and then now they have the connection, right? Like, that's how you start to become a person of influence. You start to think about the people who you want to connect with. What are they struggling with right now? And how can you help them? Even if you don't have the solution, you go and you find somebody who can find the solution for them. You become the person who did that for them. So that's a little bit about the Beach Camp Mastermind. Again, we can dive in deeper, lessons learned if you guys want for a future topic, but I wanted to respect, you know, a lot of you guys who have known for years behind the scenes are messaging me. It's like, do this one. Like, hey, we got to be fair and respect the main topic, but I think it fit in nicely. And so now we're gonna jump to some breakouts. Let me stop sharing the screen here. Hey, all these amazing humans! Look at these people. We love you guys. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna put you into some groups. If you are the kind of person usually like leaves at this point, don't, because this is the best part of Movement Makers. I get that you can be. I'm the guy who's introverted, shy, scared, don't know what to say. Introduce my. These are amazing humans who you're gonna meet. You're gonna love. At some point, everybody's been nervous kind of coming into one of these rooms, but you're going to get so much love, support, kindness, I promise. And so we're going to do some breakout rooms. What I would love for you to share in your room is, what was your single biggest takeaway from this session so far? And then in the next 2 weeks before our meeting, what are you going to do? Your biggest takeaway so far from this. And then what are you going to do in the next 2 weeks to make sure that something happens? And then after that, we're going to come back and do some final Q&A with me. And whatever important questions you have, whatever you want to go over, however I can continue to serve, we'll make it happen. Are you ready to meet some amazing humans? All right, we're going to open up the rooms. Have fun, guys, and we will see you soon. Rooms are open. Go in. And we're coming back. Hello, everybody. Tess in the backyard, as always. Hey, Linda. Tess, we're supposed to have a crazy warm. We're supposed to have a crazy warm fall. I'm all for it. I'm all for it. It gives more Tess time outside. She's dancing. She's got her shirt on. We like it. People coming back. Hello, smiling people. Hello, Yin. Hey, Rose. Hey, Francine. Lady Lexi in the house, was on the live stream last night. I saw a little bit. Mark with, man, that's a lot of books. Look at all those books Mark's got. That's epic. Sheila's having some breakfast, making me jealous. I love it. I'm fasting until 2 o'clock. So I see those eggs like, I want some of those eggs right now. Michael, welcome. Burke back in the house. And here comes all these amazing people. Hey, welcome back. Did you meet some awesome humans? I love it. Okay, so we have 10 minutes left together. I'd love to do some Q&A. If you have questions, pop it down below. Or if you have something that you want to share from your group, you want to shout out somebody, the biggest lesson, the takeaway, put your hand up and let's get a couple going. So I see Lady's got her hand up. Lady Lexi, you're up first. What do you got?
Well, hello, Evan. First of all, we all shared our YouTube channels and our handlers. Because a lot of people were saying, I'm going to try and do this, and we're not, you're just going to do it. But I had this question, and I love the topic from today, because a couple of days ago, I recorded this 30-second video for One Chicago. And it was like, okay, I'm being a fan here, but I also want to use it to express the opportunity to maybe one day do an interview with Dick Wolf and the actors. And I was like, can I post that on my Instagram channel and YouTube channel? But after what you said today, I was like, yeah, why not? So I already made a video about why I want to do it. And I also want to do another video, which is about why I was hesitant to do it.
Why you want who to do it?
Why I was hesitant.
Oh,
to
perfect.
Do it.
Yeah, that's an even better video. What you're scared of, what you're worried about. Cool. And listen, so thanks for sharing that, Lady. I love it. And listen, hold each other accountable too. Like when somebody posts a video, go give them some love, go give them some comments, go give them some energy, so that people don't feel like they're all alone in this journey as well. Victor is asking, I saw your NFT. Does it have a smart contract? Not actually baked in, Victor, but if you got it through the newsletter. So there's 2 that are up for now. I've got some other NFTs about to drop. Stay tuned. But for now, the 2 winning bids, I'm going to do a one-on-one Instagram live with for 25 minutes. So it's not officially baked in. There's no smart contract attached to it. But yeah, so for the people who win the first 2, I'm playing with it. I'm dipping my feet. I'm having some fun. Terrell Jones. We have not seen Terrell in a while. Let's bring him up. What do you got, man?
What is up, Ev, man? Doing pretty good, man. I want to shout out Alix, man. Right at the end, too, last 60 seconds, he came with some bars. He said, if you flying, too high, too low, it's not because of your ego, or don't look at it, because when you high, you come down, right? You tend to bring ourselves down, and when we low, we kind of tend to stay there. But he said it's because of your habits. Right. And I really like that. And it was a good reminder for me, but 2, even for my clients, and you spoke to them a couple of times. I'm like, damn, that's something I want to hold on to. And I want to let them know that too, because there's a lot of fluctuation in terms of I'm motivated today. I'm feeling good. I got some appointments. I didn't. I'm having a bad day. I didn't post on Instagram. So really just ingraining that in terms of habits, I thought was super dope. And then I got one quick question for you too, Ev. Influence. So I was mentioning to the group too that in terms of relationships, right? So for me, I can put my head down, right? Which is one of the reasons why I haven't been as active. But I get my head down and just do work. I know I gotta post. I know I gotta do consultation calls. So I can get my head down. But what I was mentioning to the group was, I don't feel I do a great enough job kind of looking laterally at my peers, doing enough connection, doing more collaborations. Is there a regimen, habit, routine, or anything that you do, right? Because you're doing something right, like to get invited out with Brendan, and with these different influences. How do I get to a place where I can kind of do that more on I guess be more intentional about it, because I don't want to just slip back into let me just put my head down and like just
Yeah,
keep.
that's a great question. I love it, man. Thanks. And talking in your group was fun. Glassstein, I think was the guy's name, was epic in your group. I'm a fan. I saw some of his stuff. Hope I got his name right. That was way back. It's like at least a year. So here's what I do. So I actually kind of suck at doing this. I naturally, I don't have a lot of friends. I don't really need a lot of friends. As long as I have Nina, like you take Nina away from me, I'm devastated. Anybody else? So like, I don't need friends. It feels so wrong to say, but it's like, I don't know. I don't have a need just to hang out. You know, like if Alex comes and says, "Hey, let's hang out." It's like, yeah, but I don't want to just hang out. What are we doing? So this doesn't come natural for me, but I recognize how important it is to network. So the thing that I do that works the best is I have an Evernote list of my top. It started off as 50. Now it's probably like 75 or so people that I want to stay in touch with. Like if these people remembered who I was, because I had some kind of interaction, and the more people I meet, you know, for example, like this time I added Mel Robbins and Marie Forleo to the list because I didn't know them super well, but now we met up in Napa. And so now they're on my list of people who I want to stay in touch with, right? They know who I am. We're not like the closest of close friends, but I'm trying to support them. So I have an Evernote list, and every Friday afternoon I reserve for my friends. And so people that I want to stay in touch with. And if I haven't been in touch with them for 90 days, I message them. And I try to bring value. Maybe it's a YouTube tip. Maybe there's something in their bio they're promoting. Maybe it could just be, hey, Mel, I was thinking about you. Hope you're having a great Friday. If there's anything I can amplify for you, just let me know. And I'm a yes, right? Just as I have to put it in my calendar for Friday afternoons to do it. Otherwise, I just won't do it. I'll just forget because I'm not a natural networker, or I don't really even enjoy like saying, how you doing? I mean, moments come, like this morning I was feeling the vibe. And so I'm DMing Tariq, and I'm DMing Burke, and I'm DMing a bunch of people. But if I just left my own devices, I probably wouldn't do it enough. You know, Marie's got her new book out. And so, her new launch out. So I DM'd her this morning, and we're going to do an IG live next week on Wednesday to talk about it. Right. So it's being proactive with people who would recognize your name, but you're not like the closest of close. So I recommend everybody do that. Like make your list of your top 50 people who know of you, who you've interacted with. You know, they would recognize you if you message them. But for some people, like maybe you haven't messaged them in 2 years or 4 years, right? Like, where did that time go? Oh my God, I can't believe it's been that long. So put it on you. Even if you're an introvert, just say, hey, Friday afternoons, I'm going to go off and message these people and try to continue to bring value to them. What do we got? Terry Thompson's got his hand. Let's go, man. Oh, sorry. I got to ask you to unmute. There we go.
There we go. I still got to get used to the button showing up, but I just wanted to leave everybody with with be vulnerable. Don't be afraid to be vulnerable. Evan, I love it that you're showing where you've been, because where you've been is not really where you're going, but it's a true reminder of the struggle and the hardship and the adversity along the way. So I just want to say thank you for sharing that, and it's truly helped me. And it was a reminder of my very first interview with you, on how rigid and robotic I was. So I just wanted to say thank you. Plus, before we close, I just wanted to, if we can get more information on your conversation with Les Brown today.
Oh, so that's something that Mark Drager, friend of the channel, close friend of mine for years, set up. And so 3 p.m. Eastern today on Clubhouse, in Mark's group, the We Do Hard Things Club, we're going to be doing an hour. I'm probably not going to be on that much. It's really to support my friend Mark. So I'll be there, and Mark's going to go ask Les some questions, and then it'll be open to the audience. So if you guys want to pop in and get a chance to ask Les Brown a question, we're on for, I think, 55 minutes, 3 p.m. Eastern. Cool. Much love. All right. Grace Ann Johnson. There she is. What do we got, Grace Ann?
Hello, everyone. So my group with Terry and all the others were amazing. Thank you. But I just wanted to come on especially because I wanted us to wish, where is he? I can't see him. Edge, a happy birthday.
Oh, Edge
Today's his
Bassett. There you go.
So happy birthday, Edge. And that's it. This was amazing. I'm taking away, making sure that I'm emotionally committed. and our discussion was great. It was very useful, and so I'm walking away filled today as opposed to being half empty. Thanks.
Cool. I love it. Thank you. And thank you for shining a light on Edge as well. Let's see. We got maybe time for one more. I got Burke here has got her hand up. What do we got, Burke? Oh, you got to unmute. Here she
There we
comes.
are. Hi. I just want to say tomorrow is my birthday, and I'm going to actually put out my first recording because today was so cool when you said be vulnerable and all that. Oh hell, I am that. So I've always been thinking, oh no, pull it in. So now you guys are gonna get my video tomorrow.
I love it. I love it, Burke. Happy birthday. Way to share. Put it in the Facebook group.
Okay.
And we'll
okay.
give you some love as well. I love it. Amazing. Okay. I know we're at time, but I see, let's get Brian in super quick. Brian, what do you got, Brian? Last one. Oh, you're muted. No, we can't hear you. No. Okay. Well, we gotta bring on Mark super quick. We gotta go. What do you got, Mark? First time here.
Yes, first time here. It's awesome. I love being here. I met you at Brendan's mastermind in Puerto Rico and inspired my wife and I to do our YouTube channel. So thank you for that. The value today was amazing. So thank you very much. Really enjoyed listening to you and also meeting the folks in my group.
Amazing. It's great to have you here, man. And welcome aboard. Thank you for coming on the show. Mark's got a channel talking about retirement. So anybody there who's thinking about retirement or have friends or parents or family who's retiring, you can go check out his channel too. Cool, man. Appreciate you stopping in. And man, that's a fancy looking background and camera and everything you got going on there. I love it. Cool. Well, we got to run, guys. We are a minute over. I appreciate you. Listen, this is really about energy transfer, right? Like we got a lot of ideas here. It's amazing. But the most important thing is that you take the energy from this that hopefully I gave you, but also your fellow movement makers in your little breakout rooms that you had, and then you do something, right? Burke's going to make her birthday video tomorrow. Terry's going to continue to make more content. Like you guys got to get it out there. Lady Lexi, like get the content out there, because no matter how much you feel amazing right now, nothing happens unless you're actually recording content, posting, get it out there, because the world needs your message. Thank you guys for the love. You have filled me up. Today, I'm going to pour it into all the interviews and all the people I'm going to meet. I hope you do something amazing too. Continue to believe, and we'll see you again in 2 weeks. Much love, everybody. Take care.